Hey home cooks, welcome to another episode of Gregcipes. I'm Greg and I'm going to be sharing with you a recipe. Today we're going to be making some steak Diane.
For this recipe you'll need 2 eye of round steaks, about a tablespoon of chives, half a chopped shallot, a half cup of sliced baby bella mushrooms, a quarter cup of brandy, a half cup of beef stock, quarter cup of heavy cream, 2 teaspoons of Worcestershire sauce, 2 tablespoons of butter, 2 teaspoons of Dijon mustard, and salt and pepper. First we're going to season the steaks with salt and pepper. I'm using these eye of round steaks because they're thin, lean, and most of all cheap. All good things when you're making a steak dish with a hearty sauce. Now this dish is actually kind of an American riff on the French dish steak au pois, or pepper steak, which has a similar sauce. Steak Diane has a couple more ingredients though, including a lot more butter. Now we're going to mix the Worcestershire sauce and the Dijon mustard into our beef stock, which is basically pre-seasoning the base component of our sauce. So now we're ready to start cooking, and the first thing we're going to do is melt down all of our butter into a hot pan. Once the butter has stopped foaming so much and it started to turn slightly brown, you're going to want to put your steaks in and make sure they start sizzling, and always lay them away from you. There's nothing better than some meat cooking in some butter. If you're using really thin steaks like me, they will seize up as they cook and kind of puff out on one side. That's okay. They will even out after you flip them over and cook the other side, but you got to make sure that you push them down to keep all parts of the steak in contact with the pan. I didn't do it here, but it's also a good idea to baste the steaks with the butter that they're cooking in after you flip them over. Just take a spoon and scoop up the butter and throw it on top of the steaks. Once the steak is finished cooking the way you like it, just pick them up and take them out of the pan. Now we're going to start building the sauce. Just leave all that butter in the pan and use it to start cooking your shallots and your mushrooms. Stir those well and maybe even do some fancy pan flips if you're up for it. Just make sure they cook evenly. Once the mushrooms and shallots have cooked all the way, we're going to deglaze the pan with our brandy. Then just take a wooden spoon and scrape up all the bits stuck to the bottom of the pan. Once the brandy is almost all evaporated but still has a little bit left in the pan, we're going to want to add our beef stock that we mixed the Worcestershire sauce and the Dijon mustard into. Now is also a good time to season your sauce with some salt and pepper. After that's had a minute or two to cook, we're going to want to add our heavy cream. And just give that a good stir. After cooking down for a minute or two, we're going to lower our heat and drop in our chives. Then, like any good sauce, we're gonna pour it right over our meat. Just ignore the weird slapping noises you'll hear. And there you have it, Steak Diane.
I hope you make it for yourself and enjoy. And if you enjoyed this video, remember to subscribe for a new Gregcipes every Tuesday. Hey home cooks, welcome to another... Stop laughing at me.